Oh,
That was a good one.
thank you. I know. I startled myself a little bit with that one.
Oh,
Damn. All right.
I feel like I should compete. Ooh.
Not bad. Oh.
You know what?
I will say the reason being this one is definitely newer than yours. But it's still good, Lana. We love Ivana. Shout out to Ivana Drink. But hello, Divas. Welcome to the Cup, Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real in the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. I am currently just drinking water because hydration is incredibly important, and it's 100 degrees here today in the almost middle of fucking October.
Weird. Climate change. What? Mm-hmm. It's happening. It's happening. Mm-hmm. Hi, everybody. I'm your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva. And I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because we love me some tea. Her. I am drinking root beer from Taco Bell.
Period.
Because I got food. So you see me snacking throughout is because I got food. And I deserve it because I was hungry. And we're going to be here for a minute. So there we go. But I also have my cup mug.
Mine is still stuck. Cup mug.
Panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Beer. UK edition. Hey.
LaFell.
Shout out to LaFell. Period. And you can get your cup mug or any of our cup merch at lanagscreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Unless your country is on fire, under fire, or underwater, then there are some excuses. And if that's the case, we are praying for all of you and for your safety.
Yes, God.
And we wish you well, and we hope everything works out for you for the good. And once everything is back to normal and you're living your life of normalcy once again, celebrate that with cup merch. Period.
Period per. Well, it is just the two of us for episode 3 of Drag Race UK Series 6. Another great episode.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it.
I just want to dive right into it because there's a lot that happens. This is a damn good episode of television. But before we do, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. Make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access, including early access to the look over here for all the franchises we are currently covering. So, Lana, we come back into the workroom after no one went home in the lip sync, but Saki went home.
Yeah. She hurt herself.
But we had a top 3 lip sync. Lil got the win. And Chanel is mad.
But not at Lil.
At Marmalade. Now, first and foremost, I want to say, Miss Chanel, thank you for recognizing our podcast. And thank you for recognizing me as an O'Connor defender. Thank you very much. And I will continue to be one. And I'm glad I don't have to defend you too much because you apologized later in this episode. So it's all good. Because if she hadn't apologized, then I would be up in here trying to defend her as much as I could.
And I wouldn't have gave you a room to breathe.
I know you wouldn't have, and it's fine. And I probably wouldn't have been able to defend her that successfully. But she apologized and she owned up to it and she took responsibility for it. And that's what I call growth. So, period. But this was wildly entertaining television because it comes out of nowhere. It's not even directed at the girl that won the challenge. She's throwing all of this negativity at Marmalade because she put no effort into the group. And
so
everyone's
she said,
just
everybody's like, well,
everyone's just like, what the
my Miss oh, who was it? Oh gosh, why is it escaping me? It was La Coco. No. No, not Nicole.
Wrong franchise.
Wrong franchise. Who? The singer.
Let's play Drag Race UK charades with Lana.
Listen, the cabaret singer.
Lavoie.
Wow, that's who cracked me up in this moment. I was like, who? There's too many loves in these franchises. Love something. There's too many loves. But
we've got like 4 right now too.
That's what I'm saying. It's too many loves in this.
Le Coco, Lavoie, La Niña del Antro.
We just talked about La Fille. It's not really love.
La Fille, yeah.
But Lavoie correct me up. Lavoie was like, so how we feeling? What we doing?
Hey,
hey y'all.
How y'all doing?
She was just like, so how you feel, Chanel, about losing to Lil when she won your whole outfit? And she was like, I mean, I'm glad that she won. I'm just glad you didn't go to Marmalade. And Marmalade was like, wait, what? What do you mean? What you talking about? I mean, I'm just saying that I put in a lot of work and effort into this group, and you put 10%? I was like,
right. And she couples that with, I thought it was going to be between me and you. I'm assuming she's talking to Marmalade at this point.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's mad at Marmalade because Marmalade didn't win, but also mad because she didn't win over Lil.
Baby, but she's okay.
Confusion.
But she was okay with losing to Lil because Lil was wearing her whole outfit. But so it's like she won too, I guess. But I'm like, and she went on and on about how they were the 2 seamstresses of the group, and of course there's gonna be tension and everything, but you didn't do anything for the group. And Marmalade is like, what is this coming from? Because I thought we were working well as a group. I thought we were all pulling our weight. I thought we were all doing our thing. And you just like, you did 10% of the work.
What the fuck is going on up in here on this day?
That's how Marmalade felt. She was like, excuse me? Girl.
And I did feel really bad that she got overwhelmed in the mirror chat and everything like that and had to walk out. Like, I felt really bad for her.
I mean, I get it though. I get it. Because
I get it after a while. Sure.
After a while, you're kind of like, okay, I thought we were doing well. I thought everything was working out. I thought we were doing well. And now I feel very much attacked in this moment. I feel like you're coming for me for no reason. And our emotions are heightened because we just went through this whole thing. We both get off this lip sync. We both lost the lip sync. And here you are coming for me. And okay, hold on. Let me. She was mad. And Marmalade was just talking. And Chanel was standing right there. And she was like, I don't even care. I'm saying what I gotta say. And it was just so wild to me. And the way Chanel handled it at first, and she was like, it is what it is. It was more like, it is what it is, girl. I felt how I felt. I did what I did, and I was like,
right.
No.
Girl,
I was so mad in that moment. I was like, Chanel, no. You are wrong in this moment, because there's no reason for you to go after that girl. No reason at all. I was like, oh my God. And I was prepared. I was prepared to be pissed.
Come on
Chanel.
here.
This whole time I was ready to come on this show and go off on Chanel. I was ready for it. I had my But then the next week happened. Calmer heads prevail. Marmalade said, let me tell you something. And we need to talk about it. And wait, what she did, this is one thing, and I'm going to let you go. When she said, and this is what I live by this rule, this is my mantra in life. If you apologize, she said, yes, we could have had this conversation one-on-one. But when you bring it up in front of a group, I feel you need to respond in front of the group. And so I was like, oh, absolutely. Because if you embarrass me in front of the group, please know I'm coming back at you in front of the group. And if you go apologize to me in private, you could apologize to me in public. So, baby, when Marmalade said, what's the animal on the front on the Welsh crest or the Welsh flag? And Octavia was like, a dragon. She was like, I'm about to show my dragon right now. I was like, get up.
The way she said, you needed to put the blame on someone other than yourself, and you thought I was a little puppy that you could just push around. Well, I'm nothing of the sort.
Baby, I stood up and clapped and cheered for her. You tell her, get her together, gather, clock it, all that. Oop, got you.
And the way, my favorite part of this is Marmalade is at one end of the long table, and at the absolute opposite other end is Kiki. And Kiki is just getting her life in this moment. And then when Marmalade hits her with the, you're not this little puppy that I can control, she goes, boom! Loved it. Loved it. Kiki is very quickly becoming one of my favorite people on this cast. And the problem is I like everyone. Everyone is good on this season. And I'm just like,
It's a good
but Kiki knows exactly what she needs to be doing to get this airtime. And she is the entertainment. I'm going to say this right now, and I love her dearly, but at this point, I don't think she's winning this season.
No.
But I think we're going to see her again, and I think she's going to get like a Tia Coffee level glow up and come back in a few years and absolutely destroy a future season.
I can see that for her too. I can see that for her.
I see it.
Completely. I can see that for her.
Where Tia was the funny girl that learned how to be the fashion girl, I think Kiki is the fashion girl that's going to learn how to be the elevated fashion girl and also the funny girl. Like that's just, and I love it. And I'm so happy about it already. And I'm happy for myself that I've come to that resolution. So I could just be like, okay, I'm just going to enjoy Kiki for the time that she's here.
Absolutely.
Now, if she makes top 4, work, bitch.
But baby,
if she wins, work, bitch.
But baby, her
storyline and her trajectory right now feels very Tia Coffee. It feels very Mo Hart on season 9. It feels very, I'm trying to make more references that Lana would know. It's giving like Marsha a little bit. Like the inexperienced girl doesn't have everything, but the talent is there. Like that is what Kiki's giving. Like the talent is there. The drag is not at a level of matching necessarily the talent, but it can and it will.
She's giving me Hershey because I feel like Hershey is the same way.
Yes. Oh my God, absolutely. She's giving me Hershey.
Like Hershey could do, her drag could elevate so much, but the talent is there. She just got to elevate. She's giving me,
and we said it pre-season, she is giving me Miss Naomi Carter as well. Yep, she's one of these Black queens that has had to work her ass off to get where she's at, has the talent, has the potential, just needs the experience and the money. And I think she will be an international superstar.
I can definitely see her back on Versus the World after a few years.
A UK All-Stars if they eventually do it.
All-Stars if they do that. I can see her coming back and just slaying.
I agree with you. I agree with you completely. But yes, so they resolve their stuff. Chanel straight up apologizes. And takes full accountability for the whole situation. And I loved it. I love that for her. I think she's either my age or a few years younger than me. And this was the time period where I was like, no, I can take accountability for my actions and like, it's not going to bruise my ego. You know what I mean? Like when you're younger, you take a lot of things personally. And as you get, and I can only speak for 27 years, but as you get a little bit older, you realize, no, that's not necessarily a hit to my ego. I don't need to take this personally. I can acknowledge, hey, I did fuck up. I can take accountability for that. And I loved seeing it from Chanel immediately the next day. Immediately, as soon as she let Marmalade have her piece, and she took full accountability for it, and I love it.
Because a lot of people will get that and get defensive and take her coming at her like, oh, you don't have to come in like that. But you came at her like that. So sometimes you just have to take it, own it, be like, you know what? I deserve that. I deserve that going off. I deserve that scolding. Okay.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry. And you're right. As you get older, usually for some people, as they get older, you start realizing that sometimes you just have to take it. You messed up. You said some foul stuff to somebody, or you did something foul. Yeah. You have to take their feelings and just take what they give you. Just take it, absorb it, and then apologize for it. And that's what she did. So I will give props to Chanel for that. And I was like, okay, all right, put the daggers away, girl, because I was coming for you. I had them ready. I was like, oh, okay, all right, I put them back down because you apologize. You're very adult and very mature about that. So I love that for Chanel, and I love that for Marmalade to be able to express herself and get those feelings out and let her know you are not go play in my face. And I think they probably earned a lot of respect for each other in that moment. So I love
100%.
that.
100%. So then we get not a mini challenge. We get a fun task with RuPaul, as I'm going to call it, where they have to give out superlatives. And I thought each girl was giving out each thing to like individually, but no, that's not the case. So we end up, Lil starts because she won the lip sync and she gets perky. So like, who's the most like energetic? She gives it to Zahira. Period. Zahira gets pants. So she has to acknowledge who the weakest competitor is. And she picks Chara. And I love that Chara goes up immediately, picks up basic, and throws it right back at Zahira. And then Octavia,
you eat Chara. You
eat Chara. But then Octavia Confessionals being like, perky but basic sounds like my Grinder bio love. Loving Octavia too.
I love her too.
I'm still not in love with her boy brows, but I love her. I'm loving her so far. So Zahira goes back up and she gets wet blanket. So who needs to have more fun? And obviously it's going to go to Chanel. Obviously.
It was true. It's facts.
It's 100% true.
It deserves.
Chanel gets stomping on the competition. So who's the strongest competitor? And she rightfully picks Kyron. Correct. 100%.
Absolutely correct.
And then Kyron gets big-headed. So who has the biggest ego? And I thought she was going to give it right back to Chanel. And that's what I would have done personally. But no, she gives it to Lavoie almost as this like, well, you know how talented you are. So
it makes sense to me too.
You know your skills and your abilities. And she's like, I'll take that if that is a compliment.
She was like, it is.
I'm like, I'm glad she asked. I'm glad she was like, if this is a compliment, I think it is, but let's say if just in case. But yeah, so that's all. And then we get the Maxi Challenge, which is a amalgamation acting challenge of British rom-coms. So we're doing Hate Actually and 40 Funerals and a Wedding.
Yes.
I hated the writing on this. But I will say the acting was actually pretty good.
Yes. I will say that too.
The girls kind of turned it out. No one was abysmal. No one was absolutely horrible. No one was dreadful. Some people were better than others.
Yeah, nobody was super bad, but some people were not great. But it was still more. This was probably one of the better acting challenges for me watching it. I think I laughed a lot more than I usually do on a lot of other people's acting challenge. But I think this was good. I agree with you about the writing. Not a fan of the writing. The writing itself was kind of like, But I thought the girls did really well with acting it out. Yeah. And so that made up for the bad writing.
Yeah. So the two girls that get to be the team captains are Miss Basic, taking over the title of Baroness Basic from Tia Coffee 4 years later, is Zahira. And Chara, because she got the pants, she's the other one. Chanel gets picked last, and she's not that thrilled about it. I mean, humbly. She ends up deciding she's going to go with Zahira's team. So that team is Zahira, Chanel, Kyron, Lavoie, Relisa, and Lil. And Relisa is the actual one picked last. For that team. Chanel picked herself to be on that team.
Absolutely.
And they are doing Hate Actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other team is doing 40 Funerals and a Wedding, which is Dita, Marmalade, Chara, obviously, Octavia, and Kiki.
Kiki, yes.
Werk. And there's literally no drama in picking the roles.
No, on either team.
Literally no drama, no anything. Everyone just picks a role, and it happens to be all of the
ones that they want.
So we're gonna move on. And when they're filming it, honestly, no one's bad.
I mean, we had a couple of people have to do something over and over again. Like Lil could not remember Fierce Force 5 for some reason. She kept calling it everything but Fierce Force 5.
Everything but the Fierce Force 5, yep.
And but that, and then Dita was a little oh bollocks.
Oh bollocks.
Oh bollocks. I was like,
And I love that Michelle was like, "You're getting a call that your husband is dead."
And she's like, oh bollocks.
Like, girl,
he's dead.
We'll talk about Dita because I feel
poor Dita.
I hate it. But yes, so rehearsals happen. We go back into the workroom. Everyone's getting ready, and we have a very adorable and sweet conversation between Kiki and Dita.
It was so sweet.
It was very talking sweet about how they're both non-binary, and I love. And this was the moment that I was like, okay, cool, Dita's going home. But I was really happy that we got to hear her story about, realizing her non-binary identity later in life. And as someone that is non-binary, I love hearing other non-binary folks' stories. And specifically people that realize that later in life. And I just think it's really cool to recognize and to see that age demographic of people also get that opportunity to realize their actual identity. And I think that's really cool. And her and Kiki bonded over, both being non-binary, and I loved it. And I was really sad when later things happened.
I loved hearing that Dita was like, not only did she discover later on in life that she was non-binary, but that she's trying to educate other people. Like she does bingo for seniors, and she lets them know who she is and what they're about, what they are, and if you have any questions about their identity, feel free to ask, so they can be more educated. Because she was like, they were like, my dad had a problem, with it because of their age, and they didn't realize, what that really meant. And I was like, I get that, because we didn't start hearing about non-binary until not too long ago. And it was like, it feels like you said, it felt like a young person thing. Like the young people are doing this non-binary thing, and people who are older did not have that growing up. We didn't have non-binary. It was always he or she.
It wasn't as widely talked about as it is now.
It was literally not talked about at all growing up in certain communities and in certain places. It was not talked about at all.
Like, having an alternative identity is not something that really was talked about in the mainstream until probably 15 years ago.
That's what I said. So
Um,
a lot of people growing up never heard of non-binary. That was not a part
yeah.
of the vocabulary. That was not a part of the
Mhm.
thing. Nobody asked about pronouns because everybody was either he or she. That was
Yep.
it. And so non-binary was not a thing. And so I love that not only did they find themselves later on in life, but they want to teach older people that
Mhm.
it's okay to be non-binary if that is what you feel, if that is what your heart is telling you to be. There is a term for that. If you felt like you don't know where you belong in the spectrum of gender, then if you don't feel comfortable one way or the other, there is a place for you in the
Mhm.
non-binary world, and that is
Mhm.
the thing. And so I love that they are out there experienced. I keep catching myself and correcting myself because, like I said, this is still very new to even someone like
Yeah.
me. So it's a process, and I love that they are on
Mhm.
the show talking about it, expressing it, and helping others who are in the same position that they were to
Yeah.
learn and grow from it and continue to do it. So I do think it was a very, very important conversation to have, and I love that for Dita, and I love that
I love
they
that.
are sharing their truths and sharing who they are to the world and educating the world about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we get a conversation about family photos, and we
Mm-hmm.
hear about Zahira's dad. And I loved this conversation. Because all the time we hear about these dads are not part of their lives situations. And this is one of those situations, but it's just because he's unfortunately no longer with us. But I love hearing positive queer stories about, relationships with fathers or father figures. Like I love hearing that.
It is very important to have those, and we do have some good men out there, dads who are out there supporting their sons and their daughters in their journey, in their queer journey, because it's not easy. And I love that there are parents out there who are supporting their children and you love them regardless of what their sexual
Mm-hmm.
orientation is, because that shouldn't be a
Mm-hmm.
catalyst for not loving your child because they don't
Yeah.
love who you want them to love. That let them love who they
Yeah.
want to love. And
Yeah.
so I love that parents are being supportive through the queer journey that their family members are on. And I love that Zahira was like, my dad was my biggest support system. And that is so beautiful. And that's
Yeah.
so beautiful. I know, and here's the thing. I love when mothers support their queer children. I love that. But it's something about when dads do it, because I know how
Yeah.
hard it is for masculine men to
Mm-hmm.
feel to try to support their queer sons, especially, not even their
Yeah.
daughters, because men with daughters is just something different.
Mm-hmm.
But when men support their queer sons, and it's like, I know what you are, I know who you are, I know what you do, especially when they're a drag queen and they dress up feminine and you
Mm-hmm.
are their number one cheerleader. I love it.
Period.
It just does something to my heart, and I love it. And I want every man, whether you're straight or gay, support your children. Period.
Period.
That's it. No boundaries. No, unless they're no. You support them. Period. And I love
Yeah.
that.
I do too. I do too. But I guess it might be time.
Because they went right to it, baby.
They went right to it. So we are going to go right to it. And our guest judge is Simon LeBon.
Simon LeBon. Work.
Cool.
He looks like
They needed to have
SpongeBob
him on so they
SquarePants.
could get a Duran Duran song. Cool.
Work. He looks so square in
Party.
this picture.
I know.
He
The
looks very
spacing on this is all weird too, because it's like
yeah.
Michelle's like cropped half out of the photo.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange.
Mm.
Rue looks cute.
It's alright.
It's
Not the best.
alright, yeah.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Love the wigs too. I'm loving the white wigs
Mm-hmm.
more and more on her. But this dress is cute. It's funky. It's alright.
Yeah. Simon looks good. Alan looks good. I'm happy to see Alan. Michelle looks great. Michelle leaning into the runway category just a scotch too, with the hair and like the accessorization. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Yeah, party. Let's talk about our first group, Hate Actually. Yeah, Kyron, Lavoie, Zahira, not pictured because she has her head in a turkey. Lil, Chanel, and Relisa. For me, I will say, I thought overall this was the stronger team. And I honestly thought they were going to judge it in teams.
Me too. But yes, I would say this is probably the strongest team. I think I laughed so much at least two of these people very hard. Like laugh out loud kind of laugh. But three people for sure made me laugh. For sure.
And that was...
Can we talk about the tops of these groups for you? And then do we want to do that? The top for each group.
Matter to me.
Well,
we can do tops and... Sure, yeah, we can do it that way.
Okay. So the tops for me in this group was Relisa, Kyron, and Zahira. I thought they made me laugh the hardest. I found them so funny. It was just like, and for three different reasons. Like, okay, Karen doing Hugh Grunt. She's stupid.
Kyron's so good.
She's so good, so dumb and stupid in the best way possible. I loved her in this. The mannerisms that she picked up, and it was.
And it's really unfortunate for the other person we'll talk about who had to do the same role, because we're inevitably going to compare the two of them.
Yeah.
And Kyron, for me, blew her out of the water.
Yeah. I would agree with that. But it wasn't bad. But it was just not this. It was so good. I just laughed.
Yeah.
And then Relisa.
Oh my God.
She was so good and convinced. Like I was convinced she was a 10-year-old stalker. Like I was convinced. And that's what you want in an acting challenge. I thought she was so good. I enjoyed her very much. And then I thought Zahira was so funny. Physically, her physical comedy was funny. I thought maybe she could have, I don't know. Michelle wanted her to tamp down the head moves a little bit. I felt like we need a little bit more because I thought it would have been more funny. But her physical comedy was hilarious. When I thought she was funny and I enjoyed her. Now, when it came to Chanel,
Lil and Lavoie.
Lil and Lavoie. Chanel, Lil and Lavoie. They were all right. They were okay. They weren't bad. It was just okay. It wasn't as funny, but they were okay.
Yeah, I think by far my favorites, I would absolutely agree with you in this group. It was Kyron, it was Relisa, and it was Zahira for me. I was genuinely surprised Zahira, given her runway, I understand, but I guess they literally just had to judge on runways this week because everyone did do really good. But I thought Zahira was one of the absolute best in this skit because she had the physical comedy down to a science. And it was so good. Her with this turkey, that is when she came alive. Because I think when she couldn't see what was happening around her and what she was doing, she was able to lean into the absolute idiocy of this role. And I think it actually really, really helped her. Kyron, I thought, was really good. Like I said, blew the other person, Octavia. Blew Octavia out of the water for me. I thought she was phenomenal in this role. I thought Lavoie was a good foil for her. I thought Lavoie did good. Nothing she did was bad, but she was a very, very good foil for Kyron in this. My favorite of this challenge, and I will say the person I thought should have won this challenge, I'm not mad at the winner, we'll talk about it. I'm not mad. But in my opinion, I think Relisa should have won this challenge. I thought Relisa was by far the funniest. She was so in character. She was so in it. She was invested. She also had it down to a science. And I was wildly impressed with her. Wildly impressed with her. But I honestly would have just judged this in teams and had this be the top team. And I probably would have sent, honestly, based on runway and whatnot, probably would have had Lil, Chanel, and probably Zahira safe. If we're factoring in runway, give Voix maybe a top placement again if you're trying to establish her as a front runner. I wasn't mad that she was safe, but I definitely think she could have been in the top. Also given runway, because we'll talk about it and look over here, but I actually really liked her runway as well. And Zahira could have been safe because the performance was good, but for me, Zahira did not deserve to be anywhere near bottom 3. She would have been, like, given runway and challenge, I think Zahira would have been solidly in the middle for me.
Okay.
That's just me personally.
They put her at the bottom because she didn't have any bottoms.
Literally. They supplemented her with a bottom. And then Lil, as this, like, housewife character, I wanted to acknowledge too. She took it because she wanted to do a bit of a risky character for her. I think it paid off. She's giving me very oh no, Joan Rivers. Like, the wig is giving Joan Rivers.
Yes, that look right there.
The look is giving Joan Rivers, but the attitude was giving Melissa Rivers. You can't tell me I'm wrong, Lana. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
You're not, but you almost made me choke.
Good. Hey, not good, but
not good. You don't want me to choke.
And I thought Chanel was perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Solid performance. So we go over to the other team with and this is where the photo gets much worse. Sorry. There's no close-in shot with all of them like there was in Hate, actually. But we have Kiki, Actavia, Chara, Marmalade, and Dita. Dita.
This was a weaker one.
Yeah.
But I thought it was some good moments in it. I did laugh at some moments. I thought Chara did a really solid job as her role. I do think Marmalade was a great actress. She gave me very much actress. It was
Marmalade could have been in the top.
She could have been in the top. It was
she was.
And yeah, she was.
Oop. I forgot she was in the top.
She was in the top. She was.
Oop. She could have been. I would have understood if she wasn't. I think that's what I meant to say.
I thought Kiki did really well in this role. I thought she did really well in this role. She was very I think she took it more Kiki than they wanted her to take it. And I'm like, I'm not mad that she took it Kiki.
I'm not mad either. And the thing is, Michelle didn't say anything about it to her.
Right.
When Michelle is out here correcting a bunch of the other girls for what they're doing, but Michelle's not going to correct Kiki for, if she didn't like what Kiki did, she should have said something.
She said something like, I don't like that. That's too...
I think you need to lean into the original character a little bit more.
Right.
And I think had she said that to Kiki, I think Kiki would have adjusted and been fine.
Absolutely. But she didn't say nothing. So I'm like,
no.
I thought she did great. And watching it back, I was like, oh, I like how she portrayed this role. She gave Julia Roberts a little bit of flavor.
Exactly. I would have had her still in the bottom 3 given challenge and runway, but I wouldn't have put her in the bottom 2.
Okay.
Because I thought from this group, there was a clear bottom 3 and a clear bottom 2. Because I thought Chara did exceptionally. I think Chara could have been in the top. And I wouldn't have been mad about Chara being in the top. I think she anchored the entire scene really well.
Her physical
comedy was good. Yeah,
because
her runway is wonderful. There's like 6 girls that could have been in the top this week, and I would have understood it, honestly. Because between Kyron, Lavoie, Relisa, who else did we say?
Chara.
Marmalade, Chara.
That was it.
There are 5 girls that could have been in the top easily this week, and I would have understood it.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly think I would have been fine with any of the 5 of them winning this challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just me. But,
mm-hmm.
And I thought Marmalade did exceptional. I was very happy she was in the top and got recognition for this because I think she understood her role the best out of anyone in this group.
Yeah. She was very much an actress.
Yeah. I would have had Kiki low simply because of the runway, but I actually really liked her interpretation too. And my bottom 2, without a shadow of a doubt, would have been Dita and Octavia.
Mm.
And I love them both, so it sucks saying that. But for me, Dita was clearly the weakest. And she still wasn't even bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't as good as everybody else.
She was playing at like 60%, and she needed to go 120.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's what it was. Octavia's portrayal for me just was creepy. And I just didn't, it felt half-baked, and it felt like she went for this concept that just didn't translate in this skit. For me, at least. And then I also wasn't absolutely in love with her runway either, so that, for me, I would have had Octavia and Dita at the bottom.
I felt like her portrayal of this character was more, instead of being more Hugh Grant, it was more college frat boy Hugh Grant. Like,
yes.
Yeah. You know, it was more, it wasn't the mature Hugh Grant that we see in movies. It was the Hugh Grant of maybe before he went to acting classes and before he was, you know, he was still in college or, you know, trying to be a frat boy douche guy. But
yeah,
sorry, ladies, I'm just gonna pick this one. Like, it just felt like that instead of smooth debonair Hugh Grant. Like, sorry, ladies, I have to go here. You know, it just, I don't know. But it was supposed to be a spoof, so I guess she was trying to bring in some comedy. It just didn't work.
Agreed.
But
agreed.
I liked it all. I still laughed at this whole thing. So.
Totally, same here. And as always, we're going to talk about the runway looks over and look over here. Just make sure to check out that episode. But we get some results. We go back into Untucked, and the drama continues.
It continues.
Because out of nowhere, we get Dita coming for Zahira. Being like, Simon Le Bon at least loved my outfit, and at least I didn't walk out there with no bottoms on. And everyone's just like,
girl, you ain't got to say that when she already down. Like, girl. Like, and he's just like, I'm just repeating what he said. I don't see what the problem is.
And like, she's like making some sly comments, and of all people to pop up, it's Kyron.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyron's like, I don't, because she made a slide comment to Kyron too. And Kyron is just straight up like, well, just because you're in a bad position right now doesn't mean you need to be like going off. And Dita has a moment and walks off.
And this is where I was like, my heart for Dita.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. At first I was like, Dita, what is wrong with you, girl?
Yeah.
Because she repeated that they told Kyron she wants to change her. Michelle wants to change her makeup just once. She was like, girl, I heard her. Shut up. And then she went for Zahira. And then she was like, Kyron was like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. But Dita walks off and Chanel goes to her. And everybody was like, girl, no, Chanel, don't do it. Don't do it. You of all people. And Chanel was like, I got this.
Actually, I think
that was exactly what she needed.
I think Chanel is exactly the right person because Chanel literally just dealt with this situation earlier the previous day.
Absolutely. Chanel was the perfect person to be like, girl, I get it. Sometimes you have to just watch what you say because what you are trying to say, your intentions might be good, but it's coming off a little defensive and a little mean and a little rude. And so you have to learn how to breathe. And then Dita came back and apologized to Zahira and Kieran and was like, this is just a hard day for me. I didn't want to talk about it, but it's a hard day for me. This is the anniversary of my mom's passing. And it's a hard day for me. And in that moment, I just had to pause and I had to take a moment myself because I know exactly what she was dealing with.
Yeah.
Just Wednesday. Today is the 11th on Friday. Just Wednesday was my mom's birthday, and I was podcasting through that. And I was trying very hard to keep it together throughout the entire day. And so I made sure I was podcasting a lot just to make sure I won't have to think about things. But
you did, because I didn't even know that. You did a good job at that.
I've been doing that for a lot of days because there's been times where you just don't know when that's going to hit you.
Yeah.
And I try to keep myself busy so when those days hit, I can say, okay, Lana, focus on what you're doing and not thinking about what you've lost. But that is a hard day. And when Dita did that, when she said that, I was like, oh, girl. Yeah. And I know sometimes you get, and I think Wednesday I probably was a little snippy during the podcast a little bit. I don't remember, but
I don't remember either.
I don't remember if I was or not, but I feel like those are the days when I feel
you might have been, actually. I think you might have been.
Those are the days I feel the most. I feel like I sometimes give off the most fast, I guess, because I'm trying to stop the hurt. So I felt Dita in that moment, and I was like, oh, yeah, sometimes you got to take a minute, breathe. Remember, they are not the enemy. These people who you're around did not take your mother away. So you can't pop off on them because they are not the ones hurting you right now. You're hurt. Yeah. And so I felt for that moment, I had to take a moment. I literally had to pause for a minute. I was like, okay, take back the tears, girl. It's okay. It's okay, girl. It's okay. But I felt for Dita, and I hope, and I was so glad that she took that moment and Chanel was there for her. She's like, okay, I'm sorry, y'all. It's not on y'all. I'm feeling some things, and it's not on you. But I'm dealing with it. But it was unfair for me to take it out on you. And I love that she did that and was able to quickly. It didn't take a whole day. It didn't take they were instantly able to resolve that issue. And I love that for them.
I agree completely. But we go back to the judging. We found out that our top 3 were Kyron, Relisa, and Marmalade. Sure,
indeed.
Honorable mention to Lavoie and Charity.
Yep, absolutely.
And I would have loved, honestly, I love Marmalade. But if they were going to give the challenge win to Kyron, I would have loved to see Chara up there just so she could get a high placement.
I wanted Chara up there to get feedback.
I would really, I was really hoping to see it.
Because this runway that she presented deserved the feedback.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about runway. It deserved the feedback. But
yeah. But the winner of the challenge is Kyron. I can't sit here and say I'm mad about it.
I'm not mad at it.
I love Kyron. I thought Kyron did a great job. For me, based on the challenge and the runway, for me and me alone, I would have had Relisa.
I probably would have given it to Relisa as well, but no, I probably think I would have gave it to Kyron still for her challenge, and then the runway. I think would have pushed it over the edge for me, but Relisa was very, very close.
Totally. Well, we have a bottom 3. We have Dita, Kiki, and for some reason Zahira, and I really I was upset by that.
It was the no pants.
Thankfully, they don't put Zahira in the bottom. I was thankful about it. The bottom 2. We end up with our non-binary siblings in the bottom 2, which I'm equally as upset about.
I'm upset about that. That makes me so mad that we get this whole segment with them and we have a moment to appreciate them, only for you to put both of them in. Just sick.
It's like Cara sending home Naomi.
Oh, sick and twisted. It's just like you wait till we have these moments just so you can put them in the bottom together. Get out of here.
But of course, because we have Simon Le Bon, the lip sync is of course Duran Duran, and I was wondering what song they were going to do. I think they picked a great one. Girls on Film. I think
Girls on Film is great.
This was a great lip sync.
Oh, good.
And I will say this was a great lip sync from both of them. For me, the obvious winner was Kiki. I thought Kiki absolutely destroyed this without a shadow of a doubt. All of her stunts, all of her tricks, the lip syncing was so on point. There is such a fluidity with which she performs and moves her body that is electric to me, and I just absolutely love it. But I'm not going to sit here and discount anything Dita did, because Dita gave this kind of more restrained, more like theatrical performance of this song, and there was an energy and a presence to Dita the whole time. She wasn't doing much, but she was doing exactly what she needed to do for this song, and I really, really did still enjoy what she did.
I love this lip sync.
Yeah,
for several reasons. Number one, I love this song.
Yes.
I am a Duran Duran fan. I've been a Duran Duran fan for a long time. Love Duran Duran. But I like this song for a lot of different reasons. But I thought, I'm sorry, Dita. Dita did so good in this. I thought she did really well in this because she gave us Dita. She didn't try to do anything extra. She didn't try to do anything that she couldn't do. She just gave us Dita. And I think she lost a couple of the words here and there. Like she didn't know a few words, a few parts of the song, which I was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But for what she did, I thought it was pretty good. And I thought she was strong. But Kiki Snatch was undeniable. Kiki was undeniable. Like she came ready. She knew every word. She knew what she was going to do with each phrase. She was like girls on film. Pop, pop, pop. You know, it was like she knew exactly what to do. Everything. Her musicality was on point. And I could not take my eyes off of her. And the only reason my eyes went off of her is when the camera made me only watch Dita. But when the camera was full pan, I'm like, where's Kiki? What is she? She was on the floor. She was flipping. She was splitting. She was.
Yep.
Her musicality was
exceptional.
It was exceptional. She's like, she made sure she was undeniable. And this is where I feel like Kiki is going to be the lip sync assassin, because she is going to everybody if they keep putting her up there. And I can see them putting her up there because, like they say, her drag, unless she elevates her drag somehow in the next few, I don't know how, because she just brought everything, but she has to do that in order to not find herself in the bottom. But if they put her there, she go eat folks up. She told them that she was the performer. She ain't lie about that. And here's the crazy part. Kiki was one of the people I said I wanted to see lip sync. I was like, I don't want to see her lip sync because she's bad and she's always in the bottom. I just want to see her.
I want to see her lip sync to perform.
Right. I just want to watch her perform. And baby, she performed. She is somebody who I would pay money to go see because I know I will get a good show. So I fell in love with her in that moment. I think I'm like, she's a great performer. She's somebody who, if you go see a Kiki Snatch show, you are going to be entertained, period.
Absolutely. And she does win, rightfully so, which means, unfortunately, we lose Dita.
Dita. Dita. We love you, Dita.
And I can't say it's undeserved, unfortunately. But I'm really sad to see Dita go. I was hoping that we would get to see both of our 40-plus queens make it far in this season. And we still got one. And I do think Lavoie is going to make it very far in this competition. But it's so sad to see Dita go. I would have loved to see more of the runways that she has. I hope she posts them on social media. And overall, just a lovely, lovely queen. Love her.
Love her so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the drafts, they've been updated.
They have.
And I'm in last. Yay.
We love that for you so much.
Honestly, we do. I'm in fourth currently with 20.5 points. David is currently in third with 25 points. Eris is in second with 30 and currently leading the draft by 1 point. Is you, Lana.
Ooh. I keep forgetting who's on my team. Who's on my team?
You have Kiki, Kyron.
That's why. Period. Okay.
And Lil.
Oh, that's why. Period.
Yeah, you're fine.
I love my team.
Yeah,
I
you're
love
fine.
my team. I love my team. I love my team.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
I love my team. Okay.
But yes, next week is Ghoul Group.
Oh, Ghoul Groups. I love that. I kind of love that. I kind of love
excited.
that.
So excited.
And apparently, it must be good because these judges were going off about these girls and how good some. So these songs must be some amazingness happening, and I can't wait to see it.
I am excited that it's right before Halloween, so we can continue to enjoy the songs if they're good until Halloween.
Absolutely.
Like perfect timing.
And I think this might be redemption for our one and only Miss Kiki Snatch.
I sure
put that out there. So. I'm putting that out there. Mm-hmm.
I sure fucking hope so. But
let's hope.
That is that on that with Drag Race UK. Make sure to check out our Look Over Here episode where we're going to be talking about this wonderful runway. And in the meantime, subscribe, like, and share on the way out. Thank you for joining. Check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to cup mug. And with all that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. So cheers. Bye.
Bye.